Okay, I'm back for the final reflections video. This will be reflections number 5 from my 2023 Appalachian Trail through hike. This is Patriarch, and I've got just 4 more topics that I want to talk about in my reflection series to finish up my hike, and then hopefully, well, that'll be it for a while. So let's get on with the next topic. The topic of coming home is sometimes asked of me, and it was a different feeling to finally be coming home for good off of the trail. Now, granted, I finished my hike at Mount Greylock in Massachusetts, and that when I got there, it was Veterans Day weekend in November. I got there November 10th, and hoping that I could climb up the tower to see the view from up there, because I had skipped that part of it when I bumped up to that location in my first jump from Delaware Water Gap in Pennsylvania up to just south of Virginia. And I decided not to go up the tower because I wanted that to be my last experience on the trail. Well, as it turns out, it was closed. In fact, Mount Greylock was closed for this season, and the road was closed. I ended up having to hike down 5 miles to the next available trailhead where a shuttle could pick me up, because the shuttle that I had made arrangements for couldn't even get up the road. And so that was sort of the initial going home experience, getting to your final destination and not being able to get a ride out. I had to hike an extra 5 miles. After 2,200 miles, what's another 5, right? So anyway, that was kind of interesting. I stayed the night in Pittsfield, Massachusetts that night on November 10th, and then I had made arrangements for a bus ride to Boston the next day on Saturday the 11th in the morning, and the timing worked out just perfect. The bus was there early, got to the airport, my flight didn't leave until in the afternoon, and then I got home to Minneapolis about 6 in the evening or thereabouts. My wife happened to be gone visiting our youngest daughter over in Wisconsin at her home there, and so another friend of mine from here in my hometown in Rochester, Minnesota, came up and picked me up. My friend Terry came up and did that and picked me up, and then I joined my wife and youngest daughter then later on after I got back home. What was strange was not having a backpack on my back and trekking poles in my hand. That was really strange. To not do that after having done it for so many days on the trail, and then suddenly you put your pack. I had mine in a blue IKEA bag, and that was it. You come home and it's over. But that was kind of experience. There were no crowds, no lights, no anything like that. No hoopla when I got home. The traffic noise was kind of hard to get used to. It was a little bit annoying after having been in the isolation of the trail for so long. Sort of easing back into regular society, regular civilization with the traffic and the noise that accompanies that was not really a lot of fun. In fact, like I said, it was kind of annoying to do that. But it's something you get used to again over time. But that was my experience of coming home. In one sense, since it was so late in the season, I think my hiking experience was a little bit different. So I was alone most of the time. Toward the end, there were still hikers that were out there, some southbounders and then day hikers, section hikers, things like that I would run into from time to time. And so having been alone a lot of the time, it wasn't as difficult separating from the trail, I think, as it may have been had I been doing a traditional through hike, just a linear hike going south to north, because all of my hiking friends, my trail friends, were already home. So I was kind of out there on my own for the most part. It was still an adjustment. It was hard to adjust eating habits in particular after having been burning so many calories. You're on the trail for anywhere from 9 to 12 hours a day. Hiking, level of activity is extremely high. You're eating all the time, and you can do that because your body's burning it up. When I got home, it was difficult to adjust the eating habits, even though my level of exercise had dropped precipitously after I got home. I wasn't, on the trail for 10 or 12 hours a day. And so that was a challenge for me when I got home. Even as hard as I tried, the weight gradually crept back on and kind of back at my normal weight when I started the trail again. And so I guess that's to be almost expected. Your body adjusts to the new normal, wherever it's at, whether it's on the trail or whether it's back at home. But it was something that just sort of happened. I kind of drifted back into my old life. Nothing drastic, nothing sudden, but the memories remain strong, and that's really, I think, the most important takeaway from my coming home experience. Most people that I meet or talk to, or friends of mine even, still have very little idea of what it takes or what it entails to through hike a long trail like the Appalachian Trail. And so they ask me about it and what it means, that sort of a thing. You can say a little bit, but mostly you just sort of smile and nod and say, yeah, it was a great experience. Hard, but super rewarding. What else can you say? When someone hikes 2,200 miles, that's more than just a 5-minute conversation. And so you just sort of have to truncate your comments and say, sometime we'll just get together and we'll talk about them more. Oh, I've got a YouTube channel. Why don't you go visit that and listen to a few of the postings that I have up on there. But that was my experience coming home, and it's been good. Been good. I had a lot of fun doing these reflections videos, and also beginning to write the book, which I'll mention in another section here on these reflections videos. Another question that I'm often asked is future hiking plans. Someone has asked me, well, what's next on your bucket list? And my response was, I've put the bucket away for a while. It's time to stay home. But in seriousness, I really have no plans for any long trails in the near future, or in the immediate future anyway. Maybe some shorter multi-day hikes, maybe in the next year or 2 or 3, maybe I'll do something in the neighborhood of 100 to a 300 mile hike, or a section hike, or something like that, but of the AT. But I have no plans on being a triple crowner. That is not on my bucket list. That's not a goal that I have. I have some interest in doing some hiking internationally. We have an exchange student, Toby, and his wife in New Zealand, and he's from Germany, but they live in New Zealand. Anyway, I've heard that there's a great trail in New Zealand, and I know that Toby has been on that trail before. And so it would be kind of fun, I think, to hike a portion of that trail. Not that I want to do the entire thing, but a portion of it would be fun to do, and it'd be different than the hiking here in the United States. So that's down the road as well. But again, no plans to do a triple crown. And I followed some other hikers who are on the PCT or on the CDT, and it's fun to follow them as well and see what their experiences are, but not for me. In terms of advice that I would give to other folks considering hiking the Appalachian Trail, number 1, either go with or quickly develop a high tolerance for discomfort. You will be uncomfortable a lot, whether it's from the cold or being wet, putting on those cold, damp clothes in the morning, just the rigors of hiking, the mountains, the trail, the challenges. Be ready for discomfort. It will be there. So that's just one thing that you need to accept as a given. The trail is not an easy thing. In fact, there are places on the trail where I don't know that I could even call it a trail. It's more of a route, not even a path, especially when you get up into New Hampshire and some places in Maine as well. You're looking up the rocks on the mountain saying, okay, what's the best way to get through that? Because there's no really well-defined trail in some of those places. And if the trail's not well marked, you're kind of making your own going through there as well. I can't under encourage the importance of, or underemphasize the importance of practicing hiking, practicing backpacking, practicing camping. you need to take time to fine-tune those skills and your gear and everything. I'll mention that just in a minute too, but practice. That will save your bacon many a day when you finally get on the trail, because problem solving is going to be a huge part of your experience. Every day you're going to be problem solving, whether it's the route you take, the way that your gear is set up, dealing with the weather, the trail conditions, other people, whatever it might be. You're going to be problem solving, and that's a skill that you need to develop and be comfortable with, because you will be adept at problem solving by the time you're probably not even a month into it, because it'll be something you'll practice every day. When challenges arise, roll with it. Just roll with it. It's going to happen. Figure out how to move around it. The old I think it was a Marine expression, improvise, adapt, overcome, kind of a thing. It's what you have to do. Just roll with it. You'll hear this advice also from other backpackers. Never quit on a bad day. If you're having a bad day, not a good day to make a decision. Never quit on a bad day. If you're going to make the decision to get off the trail, do it on a day that's good, where your thinking is clear, where you're not, your mind isn't clouded by discouragement. But have thought through it well, because if you try and quit on a bad day, likely you will regret that decision later on when you're reviewing the experience that you had. Another one is hike your own hike. And this is also advice that you'll hear from other hikers as well. And what that basically means is, don't set your expectations to match those of other folks that you're hiking with. If they're planning on getting to a certain campsite at a certain time or a certain day, that doesn't have to be yours. You may be hiking at a different speed. You may have an injury. You may have something going on with your body that says you can't hike that fast. You can't keep up with them. Or you need to hike faster than them because they're going to slow you down. So hike your own hike. Great advice, HYOH. You'll see that often on the trail, and you'll hear that from other hikers as well. Take time to enjoy the trail. Make the memories. I have, like I've said before, probably my fondest memories of those opportunities that I took to stop, to talk to other hikers, to take in the view, to listen to the sounds of nature, and not just be so focused on how many miles I was going to get today that I couldn't enjoy the trail. Taking pictures, stopping and listening, enjoying a snack now and then, talking to other hikers or other people on the trail, shuttle drivers, trail magic folks, trail angels. All those things enrich your experience. And you'll hear lots of hikers that are basically focused so much on, well, I've got a 20-mile day, or I've got a 25-mile day. I think I hiked over 20 miles probably less times than I can count on one hand. 22 is about the furthest I think I ever went in a day. And that was into the trail a little bit, but I enjoyed my hike. And I think that's one piece of advice that I would give to you. Try not to rush it. This is likely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to do this, so take time to enjoy it and make the memories. And again, don't underestimate the value of preparation and getting ready for this. I'm sitting out here in my backyard. This is where I did a lot of my preparation. And hung my hammock between these two trees here, and did a lot of sleeping out in my hammock. Fine-tuned my gear. You need to get your gear tuned in, whether it's on the ground or whether it's in a hammock or whatever it might be. You need to be comfortable working with the things that you have, and if they're not working, replace them. Get something different. Try some new things. Borrow some equipment from other folks. And I've loaned my equipment out to another friend of mine, Terry actually, who picked me up at the end of my hike. I've loaned her equipment to try out because she has an interest in doing the trail as well here in a few years after she retires. Preparation for your body. Physical conditioning is going to be critical. You don't want to start out as a couch potato on the trail. Hey, you can. People have done it. Not my recommendation. But get yourself in shape. Georgia is no joke. If you're going to be NOBO or northbound, Georgia is not a joke. Georgia will challenge you. which is good because you need that preparation to get ready for the rest of the trail. So physical conditioning, get yourself in shape, at least a little bit. You know, you're not going to be in primo hiking condition or backpacking condition when you start the trail anyway, but get as close as you can to it. And then your head is the other thing. You know, mentally, emotionally, you need to be ready for the discouragements, the disappointments, the emotional challenges that come along. You know, I had a few of those, the setbacks. You know, having to get off the trail 3 times, basically, for other events in my life, whether they're medical or family or whatever it might be. And you just have to learn to deal with that emotionally. And then the mental challenge, just of the daily grind of hiking is something that you need to be prepared to deal with before you embark on a hike like the Appalachian Trail. The final thing I want to talk about in this reflection series after my AT through hike in 2023 is a book that I'm working on. This book will not be a chronology of my hike. That really is contained in the YouTube postings that I have, my YouTube channel. That's a chronology of the history of my hike. The book will be a collection of stories and information and highlights of things that I experienced when I was on the trail. It'll be organized by topic, roughly anyway. And as it gets closer to when I'm ready to release that, I may put out an announcement on this channel as well, and maybe give some story samples of what the book will contain. So my intent is not to become a big content creator. That was never my intent. I appreciate the support, the subscribers that have come to my channel, and to give me comments and that sort of a thing. But I'm not a content creator. I'm sorry. That's just not me. But this has been fun to do and to record and to capture the feelings that I had both in the moment and now after the experience was done. The book will likely have 2 versions. One will be the abridged version, which will be edited down just so that it's not so huge, not so big anyway. And then there'll be an unabridged version, which will basically be for me or for my family, and close friends who want to read every story that I can recall from the trail on each of these particular topics, even the maybe seemingly insignificant ones, because when I think about the stories on the trail, the experiences that I had, those things that bring a smile to my face, those are going to be in the book. They just have to be. This is part of my history, part of my legacy. I think is sharing with other people, especially in my family, the experience I had of hiking the Appalachian Trail. And so the unabridged version will be pretty large. Excuse me. And I was going to give you a sample of I have a list of, at the moment anyway, I've got 66 different topics, and there's some subcategories under some of these. I'll just give you an example of some of the topics that I have on my list here. Glossary of terms, bear hangs, boxes, cables, poles, and rock bags. Communications on the trail, like the cell phone service and the Garmin InReach. Eating and food preparation, both trail food and town food. Equipment malfunctions, feet, socks, and shoes. Hammock camping versus tent or tarp or shelter camping. Hiker box treasures, and just hiking in general, like solo hiking, hiking as an older person, hiking in the heat and the cold, things like that. Hostels, host homes, hotels, motels, and camps. I'm going to have a chapter about that. Laundry and loaner clothes, navigation aids like Far Out in the AWOL guide, privies and potty breaks. There's some funny stories about the privies along the trail. Such a variety. It is hilarious. Reconnecting on the trail, the serendipities that I experienced of reconnecting with other hikers that I'd met on the trail. Resupplies, rule bending just a little bit, which I did as well, especially up north. Seasons and the weather, and sort of the spring creep or the seasonal creep that you experience as you're hiking, both in the spring and in the fall. Stealth camping, stream crossings, trail magic, trail names that were kind of fun to know. Wildlife, water, 0 days, and there's that's maybe even a third of the topics that I've got on my list of things that I want to cover in the book. But anyway, so the book is a work in progress. Those of you who know me, if you're interested in helping me to do a little proofreading, give me a comment in the comments below and get in touch with me. I'd love to have you help me do that. I've already had some of my hiker friends help me with the glossary of hiker jargon and terminology, and that was a blast. It was way longer than I thought it was going to be, and probably not done yet, but I kind of made up my own terminology on our definitions of those things too. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun to get started on the book. I intend to finish it. It's probably going to take a year to do that, I'm guessing. I don't know. I've not written a book before, so this will be a new experience and one that I'm looking forward to because it triggers those memories that I just relish and cherish. So anyway, that's the end of my my reflections for my AT through hike. At least that's all that I can think of right now. If I come up with other things, maybe I'll put another posting up. But for now, that will be it. You're not going to hear from me again for a little while anyway, at least, unless I get inspired to do some other kind of a video. But it may be something different. Anyway, again I appreciate all the support, the viewers that have checked in and listened to my videos and watched my videos. It's been great to know that there's support out there. This is Patriarch. Again, stay green and keep growing. And it's time to push on beyond the AT. You guys take care.